In this video, I want to talk about a really clever demo file put together by the folks at Clique out of Belgium in Europe. Now, first off, I want to encourage everyone to visit the Clique website. These folks are really sharp. And if you want to check out the sample file, visit the blog at Clique and look for the blog where it talks about perform script on client or client-to-client communications. It's really cool. And I mean like epically, explosively cool. Like the first time I saw this, my head exploded and I'm still trying to reattach it to my shoulders. I mean, this is awesome. So what is this all about? Well, most of the time when you want to do something really, really cool with the FileMaker platform that's not normally native to FileMaker, you have to install a plugin. And of course, installing the plugin means you have to actually go and purchase the plugin, and then you have to hope the plugin doesn't crash FileMaker and it's stable with it. And then you have to make sure that everyone has the plugin and that the plugins are up to date and they have to keep them up to date. There's all sorts of hassles with that. Now, as much as I like the folks at 360works and they make good plugins, you do have to keep them up to date, etc., etc. So this is a solution that gives us the ability for one client on a shared FileMaker solution to actually tell another client that's hooked up to the same FileMaker solution to run a script. So it's the idea on the internet where you have a push service. Now, normally everyone's used to the idea of pull services or polling services. That's where your web browser or your FileMaker client goes out to a server, whether it's a FileMaker server or web server, and it asks for information. And it goes and it retrieves information. And then FileMaker behind the scenes, if data's changed a little bit, FileMaker server will send you little bits of data downhill, but it's done very invisibly behind the scenes. It's not in your face at all. And of course, there's no easy way at all for one client to actively message another client, not without some really crazy plugins or hacks or other stuff like that. And of course, this is an oversight with the FileMaker product line, something that we hope that they correct at some point in the future. Well, the folks at Clique came up with a super clever way of implementing what we call perform script on client. Now, if you haven't purchased my training, I highly recommend you do that because we spend a lot of time talking about perform script on server. That's where a client can tell the FileMaker server to perform a script for it, which has huge performance benefits. However, what if one client could tell another FileMaker client to perform a script? Or for that matter, what if a FileMaker server could tell a specific FileMaker client to perform a script? That's really cool. Now, it's kind of a hack as to how this is set up. And it's all based upon a real gross misuse of the on-record load script trigger. So before I get into how this works, let me just show this to you. So I fired up this file. It's called Client to Client. This is a free demo from the folks at Clique. Once again, these folks are on the edge of brilliant, and they made this file available to download and take apart. I'm going to post the link right here in the description here on our video. But I've got a couple other people logged on. This FileMaker file is running on a FileMaker server up in the Amazon data center, and I have 3 other people that are logged on. This person here is logged in from Texas. He's on a Windows machine. This person here is logged in the other room on a Mac. And this person here, this is my daughter, she's in a Mac and about 75 miles away. So I can actually click on this person here and say, hello. And it's actually going to force a script to run on her machine, popping a window on her screen and allowing her to respond back if she wants. And so now a script, she responded back and caused a script to run on my copy of FileMaker right here. This just doesn't happen. Very cool. Now I can say, yo, Mike, what's up, baby? Notice over here, just like modern instant messaging systems, we have the ability to notate that the message has been shown and also read by the other person. Now, of course, The ability to perform scripts back and forth here, we're using a messaging app. But using a messaging app is completely arbitrary. I could wire this into FM Starting Point, for example, a CRM system, and send an alert to someone saying, oh my goodness, an invoice is overdue, or you need to call this client and give them information that their invoice is past due, or any number of things. And in fact, Mike just instant messaged me back from Texas saying there's lots of possibilities. Yeah, endless possibilities. As we can see here, you can even, from a Mac to Mac situation, take a picture of someone's screen if they're having problems, right? So they built in the ability right here to actually take a screenshot of the person's computer. Now, I told everyone here to behave themselves and not be playing on Facebook. And so I'm going to go ahead and press the button right here on Margaret's computer. I'm going to spy on my daughter and make sure she doesn't have some illicit boyfriends, that are 35 or 40 years old. And that would be bad. I press the button right here, and here's a screenshot of my daughter's computer right here. It actually told her copy of FileMaker to actually take a picture and to load it in the container, all by activating a script on the other end. Now imagine the use of this for tech support. So if you're needing to do tech support for someone or answer a question or to see what they need, I mean, this is huge. Now this is a Mac to Mac function right now, but this is huge. Now for those of you who know about FM Starting Point, we have the ability to put buttons in there that say press the button, it just opens it automatically. That's not in here. I'm just going to have to actually say export field contents and save it and drop it to the desktop. And here it is. And this is her screen. This is what she sees. And she sees me on the other end, right? Notice right here, she actually sees me and not herself. And so really, really, really cool. So the ability to activate a script on the other end. So how does this work? Actually, it'd be great if there was a function in FileMaker that you could actually say, perform a script on this other machine, and you had the ID of the other machine somehow. The way it actually runs is that every time a user logs in, they get their own record here in the database. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell Margaret to log out and then come back in, please. And what you're going to see is that the record count here will go down as she leaves. Every person in here has their own record. Okay? Every person actually sits and resides on their own record. Now you notice the record count went down as she left, and then she'll come back in, the record count will go back up. There she is, she's come back in again. As we message her, in fact, she just messaged me right there. What she actually did is when she went to message me, she actually deleted my record on screen. And by deleting my record, she tripped an on-record load script trigger on my screen. And once she tripped that script trigger, then anything could happen. The scripts are running, and the folks at ClickWorks could program them to do anything, right? That's the magic of the whole thing. The whole trick is to actually get the script to run. So we're actually sitting on a reserved record for me, Margaret sitting on her own record, Mike sitting on his, Henry sitting on his, right? Pretty cool. Now, when I say answer, when I come back in, it recreates my record. And when I respond back to her, it actually went to her record, deleted her record, and put a message in there waiting for her. By deleting her record, it told her machine to activate the on-record load. It tripped her script to start running to look for a message. Really cool. So that's how this works. Most people think of the on-record load as the process by where people are flipping through records or jumping through records and it causes the new record to load. But the on-record load will also trip if someone else or some other client forces your computer to load a new record, which is exactly what's happening here. Someone is forcing your client to load a new record because the record that you're on got deleted. So I encourage you to take a look at how this file works. Basically what we're dealing with here are a lot of key trigger fields here, a lot of key fields, some global fields here obviously, because when we deleted the record, all this data didn't go away. We didn't delete anything important. It was just the record we were on, just enough to activate the on record load script trigger. Very cool. This file is totally unlocked, so you can come in here, take it apart, and look to see how this whole thing is created. It's a little bit on the deep end of the pool, for sure. But it's so cool that I thought it'd be worthwhile to point out to you. And once again, compliment the folks at CliqueWorks on a fantastic tool that they put out. Now keep in mind, the screen capture functionality is based upon AppleScript, which means that it won't necessarily work back and forth between Macs and Windows. But the messaging functionality does work back and forth. It's really great. Now let me try the messaging function here. Whoop, that should be question marks. Notice once again his found count went down right here because we sent him a message. By sending him a message, we deleted his record. Now it's back because he clicked OK on his dialog. And by clicking OK, that script runs and it reloads that record back in to the database. So he's ready to receive the next message. Very cool. And so he sent me a message. My record's now deleted. Bam. I have to hit OK, and it puts my record back in. So it's a constant state of deleting and adding your own personal record back and forth. Now, I'm not sure what happens when two people try to delete your record at the same time. That's one of those moments when you've exceeded the design parameters of the solution. But I don't think this is really meant to be some sort of robust messaging system. I mean, we already have robust messaging systems out there. I mean, that's what AOL came out with years ago, instant messaging and all that. And we have modern day messaging applications. This is just a great demo. But the idea is that we could tell our FileMaker clients back and forth to do important things. That's really great. And I brought this to the attention of FileMaker and showed them that, wow, this is a really great tool and that we really need to have this sort of base capability in the product. Not so much the messaging, but the fact that one client can talk to another one directly. So that's it for this week. Feel free to download the on-record load script trigger video and also check out our other videos that are part of our FileMaker Pro 14 video training course. And I'll see you next week.